Alright, this video is going to talk through solving inequalities, this time those two-step equations. I purposely picked some with fractions because those tend to be a little bit more challenging. Alright, our first example, we have this whole x minus 13 is being divided by that negative 4. So we can, from the start, go ahead and multiply both sides by a negative 4. What's going to happen, I'll just throw that in parentheses, it's really tempting to take this negative 4 and distribute into these two terms, but we don't even have to do that. We're just making more work for ourselves. Because we're multiplying the fraction by negative 4, our negative 4's will cancel in this step, and you're just left with the x minus 13. It's greater than or equal to 8 times negative 4 is a negative 32. And then we can go ahead and add 13 to both sides, and we have x is greater than or equal to negative 19. We have x alone, so we are ready to graph. 0 would be over here, a negative 19 would be over there. X is greater than or equal to, the or equal to has us fill in the circle because we're allowed to equal the negative 19. And greater than, we are going to shade to the right all the values that are greater than negative 19. Alright, this next example we have some fractions, so I'm going to go ahead and make the fractions cancel away so that I don't have to work with them as much. So what I'm looking for is some value that both a 5 and a 3 will fit into. Well, the smallest number that they both fit into is 15, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply this entire equation by 15. So I do 15 times the 4/5, and what's going to happen here, this is the beauty of it, 5 goes into 15 3 times, and now I just have to multiply the 3 times the 4. That gives us 12, and the x is with that term, plus, now I'm going to multiply the next term by 15. I'll go ahead and just write it in here. 15 over 1. And then our 3 fits into 15 5 times, and now you just multiply the 5 times the 1, and you get 5 is less than or equal to, and then we can't forget to multiply the term on the other side of the inequality by 15 as well. I'll just throw it off over here on the side. Negative 1 times 15, no fractions to cancel, that's just going to be a negative 15. Now I have a much simpler inequality to work with. 12x plus 5, you undo any addition or subtraction first every time we solve. So we have 12x is less than or equal to a negative 20. Divide both sides by 12. Oop, there's the bell. X is less than or equal to. Now negative 20 over 12, it doesn't divide evenly, but we certainly can reduce this. Biggest number that fits into both, what would that be, a 4? You can divide by 4. It's hard to see what that looks like. Divide by 4. And we end up with a 5 over 3, which is also a negative, don't forget that's negative, a negative 1 2/3. So when we are graphing, there we go. If you have to graph a fraction at all, go ahead and give me the two numbers that a negative 1 2/3 is between. So if this is where 0 is, here's a negative 1, negative 2. I just want to be able to show where it is between the negative 1 and the negative 2. So I would go to the left, here's negative 1, and now I have to go 2/3 of the way. I can think about taking this up and dividing it into 3 sections. So from here to here, that's a third, there's a third, and there's a third. That's an easy way for me to figure out where this is going to go. This is going to be a closed circle at negative 1 2/3. So I went 2/3 of the way. Closed circle, x is less than, so we're going to shade to the left because those are all the values less than a negative 1 2/3.